So today we're going to cover socialisation. Now, as humans, we ask a lot of our puppies, so at the very least that we can do is make our puppies feel comfortable in their environment. The more happier our puppies are in the environment that they live in and what we expose them to, the more happier and healthier they're going to be overall. And the less issues that we're going to have in the future, such as behavioural problems. So the key to this is getting socialisation right from the start. Socialisation is simply about building in as many varied, safe and positive experiences as possible in your puppy's life. We want to do this as early as possible so that we can build social immunity, and we can also avoid the chances of your puppy having any scary and unpleasant surprises later on in life that they may not have come across as a puppy. This will make your puppy bomb-proof in all sorts of situations, and it also makes your dogs more trainable. The less anxious they are in an environment, the more trainable your puppy's going to be. If they're stressed in situations, it's unlikely that they're going to be able to focus on us to do any training. So this is why socialisation is so important. The most valuable time for the socialisation phase is between 3 and 12 weeks of age. So our puppies usually come home at around 8 weeks. So we have around 4 weeks to start getting them exposed to lots of situations. But don't worry, socialisation is a process that should go on through your puppy's life into adulthood. It's a continuous process, but the potency of that positive experience can diminish as your puppy gets older. So at this age, it's far more important how your puppy feels than obedience training. A lot of us will get tied down with trying to teach our puppy lots of obedience skills early on and trying to get them well behaved. Things like sit, wait, down, your lead work, etc. They can all wait. Okay, we can teach that at any point in your dog's life. However, the socialisation phase is critical and it doesn't last long. So let's focus on that rather than obedience skills. Firstly, get to know your puppy's body language. There's a body language video on this course, and you must start to understand when your puppy is happy and when they're not happy. A critical part of socialisation is not forcing your puppies into situations that they are not happy with. If we force them into a situation, that is not socialisation, that is overwhelming your puppy and forming a negative experience with whatever they are worried by. So get to know those signs for your individual puppy. So we also need to consider giving our puppies choice. If we don't give our puppies choice during that socialisation phase, we could encounter some issues. So if we don't give them the choice to move away from something they're scared about, that's when we're going to cause a bad experience. So one little tip is making sure that you don't have a tight leash. So avoid lots of walks where you're in close proximity to things your puppy's scared of on a tight leash. That's going to set your puppy up to fail. Long lines are brilliant, so going to places where you can use a long line like fields and standing on parks at a distance from stimulus is really beneficial. So during your socialisation, you're going to use 2 methods. We call that desensitisation and counter conditioning. So desensitisation is the gradual exposure to the stimulus at a pace your puppy can cope with. So stimulus is just things in the environment, it can be people, dogs, noises, etc. So how do we know when to get closer to the stimulus? Well, as I've said, read your puppy's body language. What we're looking for is for your puppy to remain unconcerned about what's going on and fully relaxed. That means they have no emotional response towards what's going on in the environment, and it means that you can get closer to what you're working on. Your counter conditioning part of the training, as I've said already, is positive association. So all you're going to do is pair the sight of these things that your puppy is seeing in the environment with something good. Now this can be food or toys, but do make sure it's something that your puppy likes, not what you think they like. So it might be about getting to know your puppy a little bit more and finding out what they really love. So now I've gone over what socialisation should look like. Here's a few pointers on what not to do during your socialisation period. Do not throw your dog into a dog park with lots of bouncy dogs. It is the worst thing that we could do as part of our puppy socialisation. If we've got a fearful puppy, this is only going to teach them that dogs are scary, particularly if they get pinned down. And we should not have another dog pinning your puppy down to tell them off or allow them to learn how to play appropriately. That is not an appropriate way for your puppy to learn how to interact with other dogs. Puppies simply don't have those social skills, but we shouldn't put them in situations where another dog has to feel the need to pin them down. What we could also do is, if your puppy is an excitable pup, then having them interact with lots of bouncy pups may just teach them to be more boisterous, which wouldn't be great for your dog's social skills either. Now, of course, our puppies, do need to socialise with other dogs, but just pick the right dogs accordingly and don't throw them into situations that they can't cope with. We also need to make sure that we don't throw them into situations with lots of new people if they can't cope with that. The last thing we need is every single person that's seeing our dog petting our dog. Dogs that are fearful are only going to learn very, very quickly that people approaching them and petting them is a bad experience. For dogs that are excited, you may end up with a dog that wants to say hello to every single person on your walk. What the next video is going to go over is lots of this training. So I'm going to give you some examples of where you can take your puppy and what you can do with your puppy and what that looks like during their socialisation phase. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. And if you're wanting more tips on all things puppy and how to train your puppy, then don't forget to subscribe, because there's lots more videos coming out over the upcoming months.